Welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Brandon, and this is the Panzer M4 shotgun. Now, getting rid of that box, this is a shotgun for the value is very good. You're talking right around or underneath that $500 mark, or even less than that, which is really nice, for an M4 reliable style shotgun. This thing runs. We've tested these M4 platform shotguns that are made in Turkey, by the way, and they run really well, surprisingly so. We even did a burn down of some of, not this particular one, but some of these M4 style shotguns that are from Turkey. But with that being said, this one gets you a few upgrades, and let's go ahead and dive right on into them. So to start out with the elephant in the room, this is an 18.5-inch barrel on this M4 shotgun. Now, it also comes with a few tactical upgrades that we're going to talk about as well. For example, one of those is your Picatinny rail kind of on the front portion of that barrel. It has a Picatinny on the left and right with 3 crossbar slots, so you can put any lasers or lights that you're going to want to put on there. Now, I don't really know that you'll need a laser on a shotgun. I mean, it's spread fire, you got a light, but anyway, you do you. That's okay. You do what you want. You also have a sling mount just beyond that as well. It does rotate a little bit, so it has a little give to it, which will help if you do have to sling it around your back, or if you have it on your front side. It'll help move it just a little bit or be more comfortable. On the foregrip, you have a polymer foregrip that does have some ribbing on it, so to speak, and it overall does feel really good in the hand. Now, that's actually one of those things that gets upgraded on the higher end versions of this shotgun, actually. So the Panzer M4 has a Speed and then a Speed Pro version, which are just like more Gucci'd out versions of the shotgun. But this one works just fine. They're all the same shotgun, just with some added things onto it. Now, moving on. You also have a Picatinny rail up top and a rear sight. That rear sight is adjustable, and your front post sight, by the way, is a single white dot that is pretty easy to find, which is very nice. Also, before we get too far into the shotgun, I did want to mention that it is a 5+1 capacity and that tube there, so I don't think I mentioned that to begin with, so I wanted to make sure I did mention it as early as I could in the video. Now, you do have kind of a barrel style charging handle, which does have an hourglass shape to it. I'm gonna try and give you a decent look at that. Oh, that's actually really good for the camera, but it has a little barrel style, and then there's some ridges in that as well that are reminiscent of what you find on the foregrip. Now, there is some texturing on the ends of this too, so if you barely grab it, it is gonna come back, it is gonna grip your finger, and it is overall very smooth. Being an M4 platform, this thing does feel very nice in the hand. Moving on, let's head down to the back half of this shotgun, or the back third of this shotgun, more or less. You have your safety, which is a push safety right here, right above that trigger guard. It is a little bit like a triangle side on one side. So the triangle portion is for fire, and the circular portion is for just putting it on safe. So you can kind of remember it based on shapes if you really want to. So there's a triangle, and then pop it out, and there is that kind of more triangular portion of that gun. Now, the circular portion does feel like the bolt release as well, which is right up front here. Now, it does have a texture on it that does make it easy to catch, and it's low enough and out of the way, like most M4 style shotguns that you'll see, to where you're not going to catch your finger on the bolt. And if you do manage to catch your finger with that bolt, you might need to practice just a little bit more. So with that being said, we're going to head down to the trigger portion of the shotgun. Now, it is a 12 gauge shotgun. I don't know how many of you truly want to see the trigger, but we're going to go over it anyway. All right, we are on fire, and it is unloaded. We do check all the guns before we ever film a video, any video that is, so just in case if you're wondering. But the trigger right here, there is a little bit of take up there, just a little bit of movement, and then bang. So it doesn't necessarily get to a wall, so to speak, like a Glock trigger would. It kind of pulls right through with a little bit of hesitation, but there's barely any movement. And the reset is a little bit of movement, boom, right there. So that reset is right on top of the trigger, so you can actually run this thing really quickly, which is nice. And actually, I believe Jason had the M4 Speed that he was running in one of the videos, and he was able to run that thing super fast. Now, the feed ramp's on the bottom, and it is color matched with the Cerakote on the shotgun, which is always nice, so it does blend in nicely. Falling back a little bit farther in the shotgun, you do have a grip. The grip is made out of rubber. It feels very nice in the hand, and it has a little hand stop, so that 12 gauge recoil, your hand won't just slip right off, which is always nice. There is a little bit of a texture here, so as your hands do get sweaty, rubber can be kind of slippery. It won't necessarily be as slippery because of that texturing, so it's really nicely done. On the back, the stock is kind of a skeletonized stock here. Now, what's nice about this is it is adjustable. I think I got it there. You can go up or down depending on where you want to rest your cheek, so you can peer through the sights. So if you do put an optic on here that's raised a little bit, you can also match that up. Quite nice. And then the best feature of the shotgun, maybe not the best feature, but a good feature on a shotgun, is a nice thick rubber butt pad. These are always good because some of these 12 gauges kick, as you might know. So to help you mitigate a lot of that recoil. Now, finally, on to the chokes. It does come inserted with the widest choke that you can get, and then there are 2 other chokes. It is a 3-inch chamber, so just in case you were wondering. And it does have a 1-stroke, so smallest that you can get, and or 1-stroke or star. They do like cuts on the end here to signify it, and then a 3-stroke or 3 mark or 3-star, whatever you want to call it per se. So that way you can kind of adjust that if you wanted to narrow in that spread a lot or just a moderate amount. So it's a 5, a 3, and a 1, so kind of like right in the middle there. And it does come with a tool as well to crank the chokes out on the end, so that is quite nice. So in review, let's go ahead and start with what we've gone over here. We have a 18.5-inch barrel, a Picatinny rail that is connected to that barrel, it is aluminum, and also a Picatinny rail up top for optics, so a light rail and an optics rail. Kind of nice. You also have a rubber grip, a skeletonized stock, and the overall gun is 40 inches. It's a 5+1 magazine in here, which is always nice, and a adjustable rear sight, and then the front sight is fixed. It is a piston-driven system that is a 3-inch chamber too. With that being said, that's all I have for the Panzer M4 shotgun. Now, this is definitely something I want to add to my short list because it is not going to break the bank. It's a very good value, and operationally, it's a very sound shotgun. This thing will run, and it will run most of the ammos that you want to put through it too, which is always nice. So, with that being said, that's all I have for you today. God bless, stay safe, and it's time to end. Now, I want to go shoot it.